So California Governor Gavin Newsom appeared on Sean Ryan's podcast and said that he does not want to do the jobs that illegal aliens do. I'm glad they're finally saying the quiet part out loud. Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about California Governor Gavin Newsom appearing on Sean Ryan's podcast for a lengthy interview. It was like 4 hours. If you, for some reason, want to see that entire thing, I'll link to that in the box. But I want to focus on a few clips because some of the things he said here were pretty interesting. And the reason why it's important is because I think this guy, Gavin Newsom, is going to be the Democrats' pick in 2028 to run for president. And if it's not him, then who was it going to be? Jasmine Crockett, Pete Buttigieg, AOC, Bernie Sanders at 1,000 years old? Who's going to be the pick if not for Gavin? I think it'll be him. And I think it's pretty important that you guys know just who this man is. Now, before I go any further, let's get to the clips. Like I said from the beginning, the full thing will be in the description. These clips will also be in the description box. If you're on IG, Facebook, etc., visit a link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
For your values, I mean, is 8 years old too young?
Yeah, I mean, look, I now that I have a 9-year-old, just became 9. Come on, man, I get it.
Now the context is puberty blockers, hormone blockers, sex changes, gender reassignment surgery. That's the context, and they're talking about is 8 years old too young? Is 9 years old too young? How do we get here? How do we get to this place where we're having this discussion? If you want to be whatever you want to be, wait to get to be an adult to do it. You can't even smoke cigarettes or drink beer under the age of 18. Why would you be allowed to have some kind of gender reassignment surgery or to be put on puberty blockers or hormone blockers under the age of 18? To me, it doesn't make any sense.
So those are legit. You know, it's interesting, just the issue of age. I'm as someone that's been so focused on equality, broadly, LGBT rights, particularly gay marriage. Mm-hmm. The trans issue for me is also novel. It's over the last few years, I'm trying to understand as much as anyone else. Whole pronoun thing, trying to understand all of that. Well, you know, that was like the hell. I mean, all that stuff. I get it. All this stuff started to collapse on us. I joked with Charlie about Latinx. You know,
what about for your values? I mean,
okay, and that's that. Again, you're under the age of 18. No. Once you get to be 18 years old, man, do whatever you want to do. Do whatever you want to do. Now, the mask mandates. This is the context for this one. Gavin wants to do a study to see if the mask mandates helped. I'm going to just tell you right now, Gavin, I'm going to save you a few $1 billion. I'm going to save the California taxpayers some money. If for some reason, God forbid, you win and become the president, again, God forbid. But I'm going to save the American people taxpayer money if you want to do a study about mask mandates and if they were effective. No, they weren't. No, they weren't. We already know that the mask did not stop transmission. The mask did not do anything but probably make people sicker because they're inhaling all their smuts and whatnot throughout the day. Okay, plus the microplastics. I saw a video of some Indian guys. I won't play it here, but it was a video of some Indian guys over there in India in a factory making the masks. These guys had on wife beaters and no socks and shoes on, and their feet are coming in contact with the masks, and the masks were on the floor over in India, and who knows what's on that floor you put in that mask on your face. Let's see what he said about the whole mask mandate thing.
None of us have really reviewed in an objective way. It's all through the lens of politics, what we did right and what we did wrong. And so I'll answer that question by telling you what I've just tasked. I've asked our team to put together an objective review of everything we did right, everything we did wrong. We're interviewing people that vehemently disagree with us, that oppose the mask mandates, that oppose the stay-at-home orders, people that are international experts. We're stress testing our entire process. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. Comparing and contrasting to what other states did.
why spend any time? Why spend any money on that? We all know what the answer is. The mask mandates did not work. It's just as simple as that. You're just wasting time and money. This, in my opinion, is a preview of what he would do if, again, God forbid, he became the president.
I mean, Florida shut down their bars and restaurants before California. Before California. The question was, when did we start to unwind some of those restrictions? California was more restrictive, and we were certainly aggressive at scale.
Now, you know what's funny about this? You're talking about bars and restaurants. First of all, Florida was one of the first states to open. Florida pretty much remained open. Relatively, they were nowhere near California because California was shut down for a long time, and he has a lot of courage. I would say that word. He has a lot of courage to talk about bars and restaurants when his restaurant, French Laundry, should have been shut down. Well, it kind of was, except for him and his colleagues, medical colleagues, not wearing masks during the lockdown. That's funny, but anyway, let's keep on going here. Now, here he is talking about, well, I don't see a lot of guys that look like me who are jumping for joy, who are very enthusiastic about doing the jobs that the illegal aliens do. Check this out.
Community, all these mixed status families, $8.5 billion of tax collection in California every year from undocs. $8.5 billion that we receive just at the state level of taxes. That was the last pew.
So he says that undocumented migrants contribute $8.5 billion in taxes to California. Now, there's a study that came out from the House GOP, and it said that every year, we, the American people, regardless of where you live on the federal level, we, the American people, spend $450 billion with a B, $450 billion every year on the migrants. I'll link to that in the box. If you don't believe me, you can read it for yourself. It's on CNN. I'm not making it up. And that's what kind of right-wing conspiracy theorist. That is the number that they calculated. So you're talking about 8-9 billion. What's that when we spend 450 billion on them every single year? Not to mention the impact they have on housing, on jobs, because now we're fighting them for jobs. We're fighting them for resources. We're fighting them for everything, including fighting for our lives because they also increase the crime rate. But I digress.
Estimate. So it's not insignificant. Backbone, I mean, it's half of our agriculture work. You care about farmers and ranchers? If that's what your number one go-to commitment, then you sure as hell should care about their workers. 41% of our construction workers, Texas and California have the highest percentage of their construction workers that would fall into that category. How the hell do we rebuild Altadena and Palisades? We're going to need a peak next year. We estimate about 70,000 workers. Without that workforce, ain't going to happen.
My question is, how did we build the United States before the migrants came? Because you're talking about slavery, that's one thing, but post-slavery, what was going on between then and now?
Struggling year. You imagine it peak there. So I think there needs to be a pathway for those folks as we secure the border, and we own that issue.
Do you feel that they're taking American jobs?
Not in Tulare County. Not in Ventura County. I don't know many people that want a job out there in those packing facilities. Mm-hmm. I don't see many people look like me jumping at those jobs. I just don't.
Now, what he's saying right here is correct. What he's saying right here is correct. People that look like him, people that are Gavin Newsom, a vampire in the vampire in Malibu, people that look like him, they don't want to do those jobs. And I think that's an important distinction to make, because I'll leave it right there. Let me just come back here so you can see me clearly. That's an important distinction to make, because the news media and the politicians will say that Americans don't want to do those jobs. No. There's certain kinds of Americans who don't want to do those jobs. And I'll argue that it might be half of the nation or more. A lot of us don't want to work. We don't want to do anything, or we want to be the big boss and have the employees make no money like a Gavin Newsom. Half of the nation is like that. But the other half are hard workers. We don't mind the dirty jobs. We don't mind going out there working for a living. But the ideology of a Gavin Newsom is placed on all of us as if he represents the average American person when he does not. So my thing would be, all right, rich guys, multi-trillionaires, if you want a workforce, you need to reach out to Americans. America as a whole need to really encourage American citizens to want to work. And it needs to start from an early age. It can't just be a bunch of Gavin Newsoms and then Americans that do nothing and then a bunch of migrants that come in to, that can't, that's unsustainable. It's not going to work. It's going to cost the taxpayers quite a bit of money because check it out. When the migrants come in and they don't have English, they don't have this, they don't have that, that then falls on the taxpayer. You rely upon us to pay for that. But how are you going to pay for it if the jobs that we should have go to them? If they are the preference, if they come in, they get one of themselves in a particular job and they only hire people that speak their language. That's unsustainable. It's going to spell doom for the average everyday American citizen. We got to put an end to it. And I don't think Gavin Newsom would be the guy who'd put an end to it at all. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your opinion about Gavin Newsom? Did you see the entire Sean Ryan interview? How you feel about the clips if you didn't see the entire interview? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. This right here is just what Democrats are on. This is the left. This is pretty much how they operate. Gavin may say some things occasionally that I agree with, but ultimately he's a liberal. He's a leftist. A guy like that, I hope and pray never becomes a president of the USA, because if he does, I don't see how our nation survives. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.